Hello, and welcome to a quiet corner of the night. As the world outside grows still and the lights in the houses down the road blink out one by one, we turn to the oldest comfort of all, stories. But these are not stories of bright heroes and happy endings. No. These are the tales whispered on porches when the fire dies down. They are the legends born in the rustling cornfields, the silent forests, and on the long, lonely roads that stitch this heartland together. They are dark, but there is a strange peace in their darkness, a comfort in their age. So, find a comfortable place. Let the weight of the day settle around you. Close your eyes and let your mind wander into the misty border between fact and folklore. Let these dark tales from the heartland gently carry you away to sleep. Our first story comes from a place where the soil is rich and black, and the sky is an endless bowl. It's the story of the watcher in the corn. There's a farm, much like any other, the Miller farm. For generations, they've worked this land. And for generations, they've known one simple rule: never, ever follow a voice into the corn after dark. The corn, you see, is a world of its own, a labyrinth of green and gold that swallows sound and sight. It's easy to get lost in the daytime, but at night it becomes something else entirely. Old Man Miller, he would tell his grandchildren about the feeling, a feeling of being watched from deep within the rows, not by a person, not by an animal, but by something that knew the land long before the first plow ever broke the soil. They called it the Watcher. It never showed itself, not truly, but you might see the stalks sway when there was no wind. You might hear a rustle that moved just a little too fast, a little too purposefully. Sometimes, on a perfectly still night, you could hear a low, soft hum, like a swarm of bees far, far away. One autumn, a young farmhand named Eli, new to the area and full of skepticism, decided to mend a fence on the far northern edge of the property as dusk fell. The others warned him. "Be back before full dark," they said. "The corn has ears." Eli just laughed. He finished his work as the sun bled out over the horizon. The world turned to shades of blue and gray. And that's when he heard it. A voice. It was faint, like a child's, calling his name. "Eli! Eli!" It came from deep within the corn. His blood ran cold, but his rational mind fought back. It was just the wind, a trick of the ears. He started walking back, quicker now. But the voice came again, clearer this time. "Eli, come see." He stopped. He peered into the wall of stalks. It was pitch black in there. And then he saw it. A pair of faint golden lights deep in the maze. They bobbed gently, like will-o-wisps. A part of him, the sensible part, screamed to run. But another part, a deeper, more curious part, felt drawn. The lights were beautiful, hypnotic. Without even realizing it, he took a step off the path, then another. The corn leaves whispered against his overalls, a dry, papery sound. He walked for what felt like hours, the golden lights always just ahead, always out of reach. The hum was louder now, vibrating in his bones. He was utterly, completely lost. Back at the farmhouse, they realized he was missing. Old Man Miller just sighed, a deep, weary sound. He lit a lantern, its flame a brave, tiny star in the immense darkness. He didn't call out. He just walked to the edge of the field and stood there, holding the light high. Deep in the corn, Eli, on the verge of panic, saw a different light. A warm orange glow, steady and true, piercing the oppressive black. It broke the spell of the golden orbs which flickered and vanished. Stumbling, crying with relief, Eli followed the lantern light, the rustling corn seeming to part for him now, until he fell out onto the path right at Old Man Miller's feet. He was never quite the same after that. He'd often be seen on the porch at night, staring out at the whispering sea of corn with a look of profound understanding on his face. He had learned the Heartland's first lesson. Some places hold old memories, and some memories are best left unvisited. Let the image of that lone, friendly lantern fade away now as we drift to our next tale. Our next tale takes us from the open fields to a place of enclosed, elegant decay, to the old Grand Victoria Hotel, which stands on a hill overlooking a sleepy river town. It was once the height of luxury, but now its windows are like blind eyes, and its doors are boarded shut. The townsfolk say the hotel is empty, but they are wrong. The legend speaks of a single feature that remains perfectly intact long after the ballroom room floor rotted through and the velvet curtains turned to rags. It's the grand staircase in the main lobby. A beautiful, sweeping structure of oak and mahogany. But they say that if you find your way inside on a night when the moon is full and shines directly through the dusty dome above the lobby, the staircase changes. A young urban explorer named Maya heard the legend. She sought out forgotten places not for treasure, but for the silence they held. She broke a basement window and slipped inside the Grand Victoria. Her flashlight beam cut through the thick, modin-laden air. It was a tomb of a forgotten era. She found the lobby, vast and shadowy, and there it was, the staircase. It was even more beautiful in its decay. She began to climb, her footsteps echoing in the immense silence. She reached the first landing, then the second. She lost count of the floors, lost in the beauty of the carvings on the banister. It was only when her flashlight began to flicker that she stopped. She looked down, expecting to see the lobby far below, but she saw only more stairs, twisting down into a darkness that seemed impossibly deep. A knot of cold fear tightened in her stomach. She looked up. The staircase continued upward, too, far beyond where the roof should have been, vanishing into blackness. She was on a single, endless flight of stairs, suspended in a void. She started to run down, one flight, 2, 10, the same carved banister, the same worn carpet, always the same. She ran until her lungs burned, but the lobby never appeared. She tried going up, with the same result. She was trapped in a loop of wood and memory. Exhausted, she sat on a step, her head in her hands. The silence was absolute now. It was then that she heard the other footsteps, not her own. A slow, measured tread coming from somewhere above. Click, clack, click, clack. The sound of fine leather shoes on hardwood. She held her breath. The footsteps stopped on the landing just above her. She didn't dare look. She felt a presence, an old, tired presence filled with a bottomless loneliness. A soft, cultured voice whispered through the dark, so close it could have been right beside her ear. It said, "Are you here for the party?" Maya squeezed her eyes shut. She didn't answer. The rules of such places are simple.
You do not acknowledge the residents. She sat there for what felt like an eternity, the presence waiting patiently. Finally, she heard a soft, disappointed sigh. The footsteps began again, click, clack, fading away as they descended, down, down, into the impossible depths below. When Maya opened her eyes, the first gray light of dawn was filtering through the dome. She was on the second-floor landing. Below her, the lobby was exactly where it should be. She never went back, but sometimes, she says, on quiet nights, she can still hear the faint, lonely sound of those footsteps, forever climbing and descending the endless staircase. Let that sound fade now, into the gentle lapping of water. Our final story is the softest and the saddest. It comes not from the land, but from the water, from the vast freshwater sea they call Lake Michigan. The sailors and fishermen who work these waters know her moods. She can be furious, with waves like mountains. She can be serene, a sheet of perfect blue. But it's in the fog that they fear her most, for it is in the fog that you can hear the singing. They call her the Lady of the Lake. The story goes that a century ago, a passenger steamer, the Sweetwater, went down in a sudden squall. There was a woman on board, traveling with her infant child. As the ship listed and sank, she clutched her baby to her chest and sang a lullaby, a simple, gentle melody, hoping to calm the child in its final moments. The ship went down. All hands were lost, but the lullaby remained. Now, when the fog rolls in, thick and white, blanketing the world in silence, you can hear it. A woman's voice, soft and ethereal, singing that same simple tune. It seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, carried on the water droplets in the air. It is not a threatening sound. It is profoundly, heartbreakingly sad. It is a sound of pure love and ultimate loss. Fishermen have told tales of seeing a shape in the mist, a pale, graceful figure, holding a bundle, gliding over the water's surface. She is not looking for vengeance. She is simply waiting, forever searching the endless waters for a shore she will never reach. To hear her song is considered a warning, a sign to turn back to port, for the lake is holding its breath, remembering its sorrow. But if you listen from the safety of the shore, as you lie in your bed, it becomes something else, a reminder of love that outlasts even death, a melody so tender it can soothe the most restless soul to sleep. Listen now. Can you hear it? Just on the edge of your hearing, a soft, humming whisper. Let the melody wrap around you, a blanket of mist and memory. And so the heartland settles back into silence. The watcher returns to the depths of the corn. The footsteps on the staircase fade into echoes. The lady's lullaby becomes one with the whisper of the waves. These dark tales are not meant to frighten you, but to remind you that the world is deep and old and full of stories. And now it's time to let them all go. Let your breathing become slow and deep. In and out. Feel the weight of your body on the bed, the softness of the pillow beneath your head. Release the tension in your feet, your ankles, your calves. Let your legs grow heavy and still. Let go of the day. Let go of the stories. There was nothing to do now but rest. The night is deep and quiet and safe. You are safe. And as you drift away, remember, the best stories are the ones we dream ourselves. Good night.